Assalamu alaikum. This is Mudassir Karnolwal. How are you all? So, I'm here to teach you business studies. This is a first unit, that is understanding business activity, and the first chapter of the first unit is business activity. So, let's start with the business activity. First of all, there is a need why business activity is required. So the answer to this question, that why business activity is required, is actually the economic problem. And what is an economic problem? An economic problem is defined below. So first we need to discuss needs and wants. What is a need? A need is a good or service that is essential for living. For example, food and shelter, clothes. These are the things without them we cannot survive. So we definitely need these things or these some services for living our life. Then it comes to the wants. Want is a good or service which people would like to have but which is not essential for living, while wants are unlimited. For example, if you have a want of having a car, having a personal car, yes, it is a want, but a person can easily live without a car. And there is a very good connection between the want and need. For example, transportation is a need. One needs to go to the office, go to the school, go to the shop, anywhere. So he can go by the public transport, he can go by motorcycle, he can go by the car. But now if a person is going by a motorcycle and he wants to go on a car, this is what we can differentiate between a need and a want. So one day he gets a car, let's say he gets a car that costs under 1 million, and then he wants to go in a car more than 1 million. Then he gets a bigger car costing around 1.5 million. Now he would be wanting to go in a car worth of 2.5 million. So this system, this cycle won't stop. That's why we call wants are unlimited. Then we need certain resources to fulfill our wants. But contemporary and contradictory to the wants, resources are not unlimited, they are limited, such as land, labor, capital, enterprise. Obviously these things are limited. These are the four categories in which resources are defined. These are always limited and these are not renewable. Once finished, they are finished. So this is why economic problem arises, that we have limited resources but we have to fulfill unlimited wants. This is the basic reason why economic problem arises. So here economic problem is defined that unlimited wants plus limited resources is equal to scarcity. Scarcity means that resources are limited in nature, but wants are unlimited in nature. If both would be limited, there would be no scarcity, or if they both would be unlimited, there would be no scarcity. But since wants are unlimited and resources are limited, so there is no balance. And when there is no balance, we call this imbalance is scarcity. So this scarcity now leads us towards the need to choose. Why do we choose? We choose because we have limited resources in order to fulfill our unlimited wants. We cannot fulfill all of our wants. So that's why we have to sacrifice some of the wants. Here, the concept of opportunity cost rises. What is opportunity cost? It is the next best alternative given up by choosing another item. For example, if you go out to buy some food, you can either buy a burger or you can buy a biryani. You cannot buy both of the things because you have limited amount to buy. And if you have ample amount to buy both of the things, then it means there is no scarcity, which is in a broader case not possible. Further explain, individual, an individual is having, let's say, 500,000 rupees, and now he wants to upgrade his car, or he wants to go on a holiday. Either he can go for the holiday or go for the car. This is the opportunity cost. If he goes for the holiday, then car would be the opportunity cost, and if he goes for the car, then holiday would be an opportunity cost. Same goes with the business. Business can buy machine A or business can buy machine B. Either we buy machine A, then machine B would be the opportunity cost, and if it buys machine A, then machine B would be the opportunity cost, right? Well, here is the revision summary of the economic problem, that we have limited resources, which are land, labor, capital. They leads us towards economic problem because there are unlimited wants, which leads us towards scarcity, and then choice. Choice is very necessary when there are scarce and limited resources. One have to choose between the two, and this choice between the two best alternatives is actually an opportunity cost. So, starting from the economic problem and the problem which lies in the limited nature of the resources, it ends to the opportunity cost, which is the cost of choosing next best alternative. Then how can we minimize this effect? By making the best use of limited resources. We can go for specialization or division of labor. In that way, we can use the resources in the most efficient way by splitting up the work among the workers. For example, division of labor means, or specialization means, that a person is expert in a certain task and he is given only that task. So in that way, by doing or focusing on only one task, he would become eventually an expert of that task. And gradually the wastage, the errors, the defects in that work, in that task would be minimized. But specialization and division of labor have certain advantages while they have certain disadvantages as well. So, specialization or division of labor, obviously it increases the efficiency of the worker, of the task. It increases the output, it increases the training, and it saves the time as well. But there is a major disadvantage of specialization or labor, of division of labor. So the first disadvantage is the workers get bored. Obviously, if you are supposed to do a single task day and day and day and day and day and day, obviously there would be a time when you will get bored of that task. So when once the boredom comes in, efficiency drops. This is a natural phenomena that once you are not interested in certain work, you won't do it with the same efficiency. So once workers get bored, then there is a drop in efficiency. One major disadvantage of specialization is the drop in efficiency. Then another problem, when you have specialized labor, when you have divided tasks among different people. So let's take an example that there are 5 people working in a factory doing task A, task B, task C, task D, and task E. They are highly specialized in those tasks. So one day, what happens? If B is absent, so C cannot continue his task. In that way, C, D, and E won't be doing the work. So it means that the production capacity would be idealized. They won't be doing work. Production would be stopped. So due to absence of B, C, D, and E are not productive anymore. So this is the biggest disadvantage of division of labor. So then there's a last concept, added value. Added value is the difference between cost of materials and the final price of the product. As you can see in the equation, selling price, cost of materials, and added value. So there are 3 elements of this equation. We subtract the cost of materials or components of the product from its selling price, then we get the added value. Further explained, added value could be increased by working on products so that they become more expensive finished products. For example, a mobile phone with the camera would be sold for much more price than one without the camera. So obviously the producer will ask for the more price for the phone with the camera, and in the same way he would be bearing more cost to produce the camera phone than the phone without the camera. But when it comes to the price, he will be charging more price than it cost. For example, if a mobile phone is costing rupees 15,000, a simple mobile phone, and the camera phone is for, let's say, 25,000, so it doesn't mean that 10,000 is the cost of the camera. Maybe the camera feature cost is just 4,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees. So the remaining 5,000 is actually the added value, which is eventually the profit of the producer. And we as a customer, we pay for the added value because we need more value in our product, in the finished product that we buy. So the difference between the cost of that special component that producer has put in the product and the price for which that product is being sold to the final consumer or the final customer is actually the added value. And added value is actually the component, it's actually the it's actually the source of the profit to the producer. So higher the added value, higher would be the profit. In order to increase the added value, producer either go for the low cost products. I mean, it can decrease the cost of components, it can decrease the cost of other the materials, or he can increase the price. But when he would increase the price, there would be a problem. Then he would have to convince the customer to buy the product at an increased price. And when he would be going for the decreasing cost, there he would have to search for the less costly alternatives of the products or the materials, but at the same quality, which is not easy. So sounds simple, added value that increase the price or decrease the cost, but when it comes to the practical, it is not that easy. It needs a very high intellectual to go for the added value. This is what we had for the first chapter, that is business activity. Then that's all for the first chapter. Thank you.